Welcome back, everyone. Today's topic is 3 ways that you can feel more, or that you can be, I should say, more heard. Ironically, I made this episode yesterday and the content just miraculously disappeared. I think that that's very aggravatingly kind of fitting. The fact that my content on how to be heard just disappears. So I'm over here like, what more do I need to do to be heard? Anyway, I want to talk about, 3 ways that we can be more heard, because I think as entertainers, this is one of our Achilles heels. Is it not? It's our Achilles heels. And I think it's kind of funny also the fact that I feel led to do this topic. Could it possibly, potentially, for any possible reason, be because I don't feel heard in my personal life and I'm like, hey, you know what? Maybe I can talk about this in my own reflection, talk about this to my own reflection right now to feel seen and put this on the internet so I can feel heard. Could that be why? No? Possibly not. Maybe it's because I just know you guys perfectly well and know this is exactly what you're struggling with. In that case, you're welcome. Anyway, so I know that we all have felt this way. Have we not all felt this way? Where maybe it's that you're just being overlooked. Instead of being overbooked, you're just overlooked. What a concept. Or maybe you just don't feel like your voice, your act, your talent is being seen, is being heard, is being understood. People are just not getting your value. They're not getting your value. They're not getting your worth. They're not getting what you have to offer. They're just not seeing it. And I think that a lot of this comes down to the fact that, first of all, we're scared to put ourselves out there. We're scared to. I've done several episodes, I believe, on vulnerability. And I would recommend checking those out because, vulnerability is a huge issue. But even if you're not necessarily so scared to be vulnerable, it's still, you got to do something. I've talked about this a lot, about how you have to constantly reinvent yourself as an entertainer. You have to constantly keep up with the trends, constantly find new ways to be authentic that aren't just the same performance that everyone has already seen. You have to kind of be up with what's in, what's not, what have people already been doing, what are they not doing, what's something that was done maybe years ago that you can bring back into style, etc., etc. So I think for one thing, what we need to all start doing as entertainers is finding sort of like a niche way of being heard. You know, like, what is authentic to us? Is it wearing a meat dress? Now, I know that by being seen, that's a very different sense than being heard, right? But sometimes to be heard, you need to be seen, because you have to be seen in order to be heard. You have to catch people's attention via eyes before they want to listen to you. Sometimes if you're just going and it's vocals first, you're not going to catch people's attention. Sometimes you are, especially if you have incredible vocals. But you could look at Lady Gaga in a meat dress and go, what is she trying to say? You look at that with your eyes, with those senses. You look at that and go, I want to know what is behind this. What does this mean? What's the story? Why does she need to wear this? It makes you question, and you want to hear what is under that, right? So I think we should all try to find, like, maybe not go out in a meat dress, but consider what is an authentic power move, if you will, on your end that you can do that is equivalent to something like wearing a meat dress. What would make people's attention, what would be, magnetic to draw people's attention in that they want to hear what you have to say? I know that several years ago, I had blue hair in a very conservative town back when it was not popular. I think I was literally one of 3 people in my entire town who had blue hair. And I would always say, I want to catch people's attention. That way they know, or that way they want to know what I have to say. Because I was trying to market for my mermaid business at the time and be like, if people say, hey, that looks like mermaid hair, I got you, right? So something like that, whatever is authentic to you that could fall under that category. I've done an episode on this before about doing a tribute because people want to feel seen and heard themselves, and the best way to make other people feel seen and heard themselves is to make them feel seen and heard themselves. The biggest pop star, billionaire in the entire world right now, Taylor Swift, right? I talk about her a lot because she's a great example, honestly, of making her fans feel seen and heard, especially through the music, because what are her songs about? It's relatable. And not just her, most songs are, but she has a way with words, I believe, in such a way that other people don't. That's why her fan base is loyal in a way that others aren't, because they feel so seen and heard by her, by the lyrics. So what can you do to give your audience that same reaction, to make them feel so seen and heard by whatever your performance is? Is it through a tribute? Is it through what you say to them? Is it through the way that you deliver it? What is it that you can do to make your audience feel that same way? If you want one-on-one help with this, I'm more than happy to do a free discovery call with you to see how I could be of support to you. Also, check out my social media, Make Waves Coach, on almost any social media platform for lots of free content. Also, check out my mermaid content, as I'm a mermaid entertainer, on almost any social media platform at Mermaid Kassandra. Also, check out my podcast, because you know what I was about to say. I need to be heard. I joke. It's true, but I joke. It was a fitting joke. Check out my podcast, available every place podcasts are found. It's also called Make Waves Coach, Mermaid Kassandra. Last but not least, how can you connect authentically with your audience in a way that makes them feel, yet again, seen and heard? They go so hand in hand. That makes them feel like this person's not too great for me. I believe I did an episode on this also, just one of my last few, was about meeting one of my ultimate heroes and how this hero was so down to earth, was not above my level in any way, and it made me feel, obviously, so valued because I didn't feel like I was at that same level, but this person gave me no reason to feel like I was. How can you be that way with your audience? That because you're a performer, you're not greater than them. You're also a human. You're so down to get to hear about them, to get to know them, because they are, in fact, your audience. It will actually help you. The return on investment of connecting authentically with your audience is you're going to figure out all the more what exactly your audience wants. So how you can deliver that in such a way that makes them, again, feel like so connected. How can you connect authentically with your audience that one-on-one makes them feel so seen and heard, but the return on investment that you get out of that also helps you put on a performance that makes them feel even more seen and heard. It works like magic, and I'm over here putting it out on the internet for free like an idiot. I want to remind you guys, if you want to connect with me one-on-one, feel free to book a free discovery call with me, completely free, just to see how I could be of support to you and your niche. Don't hesitate to reach out. The link is in the description below. Otherwise, I will see you guys next week. Go out there and make waves. Mwah!